Hey guys, we're here today to show you a really cool project, how our Rock Star VIP member, Kaush, turned a single family bungalow into a duplex, added a garden suite, and possibly a fourth unit into the basement. So when we bought this house, which was in 2020, 4 years ago already,
Yeah.
we bought this house. We actually had won that in competition. There was competition then. And it was very outdated. So we'll show you some pictures on that. But we knew when we saw it, we were gonna have a great house to be able to do a duplex conversion. That was 100% the plan. We also knew that we were gonna be looking at the lot and the size and what could, we could get out of that for a garden suite and so on.
The existing property would support whether we get the garden suite in the future or not, right?
Yeah.
So,
we knew regardless, because we were still early in the process before we were doing garden suites, but we knew we were talking about it. But regardless, we knew it was a great location. We're on the Hamilton West Mountain. We're near the college. We're near the hospital. So definitely a great location for a rental. And like we said, the garden suite was going to be a bonus if we were going to be able to do that. So what we did was renovated the main floor completely, top to bottom. And then we went ahead and did the legal duplex into the basement, added a 2-bedroom unit down in the basement as well. And completed that a couple years ago, obviously did that process right away, had it rented, and then started the thought and process and what we could do with the garden suite in the back, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so the main floor right now is rented. We do have the lower unit that just had a tenant turnover, so we'll be able to increase some of the rents there, and we'll show you inside as well. And then we were able to start the garden suite, which we'll show you there.
Yeah, we started 2 months ago or so, and we'll show you the progress since then.
Yeah, we've got about 2 more months to go till completion, but at least it'll give you a good idea. Super cool project. We'll take you inside.
Okay, so this is our upper unit. Currently renting it for $2,400 a month. As Tammy mentioned earlier, that it was definitely 1950s green walls, and so we opened it up a bit. We took a wall down, obviously upgraded everything, and it's doing really well. We have tenants for multi-years now. So yeah, that's the upper unit. Yeah.
I just want to add too, $2,400 for a 2-bedroom main floor unit. It's great rent, so did good with that.
Yeah, okay, so this is our lower unit of the bungalow that we purchased. It's about 750, 800 square feet, 2 bedrooms. We created 2 bedrooms. This is our kitchen area. Try to make it modern, clean look. We like to put the laundry in as part of the kitchen area, as you can see. We like to kind of have that because we find that this counter space here can serve as a folding table, or it could be where you put food out when you have friends over, that you can just grab it and kind of go sit to the living room area, right?
Can't have enough counter space. I said that. For sure.
So yeah, that's a quick summary. I mean, in terms of rent, we get about $2,000 a month. Right now we have a tenant turnover, so hopefully we can get a little more than that, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yep.
Okay, I guess one thing I wanted to chat about is quickly, when we were doing this renovation, creating the other unit here, we did start thinking ahead about, if we had a garden suite in the future and so forth. So for things like electricity, we upgraded to 200 amps. For the plumbing, we made sure it was kind of, upgraded to 1-inch. 1-inch pipe so that we could accommodate the water flow. HVAC, we kind of made sure that we had a plan for that as well. So we did think ahead and provision for that. In terms of amenity space, I just wanted to kind of quickly walk you through. So in the future, this area that we're standing in this area here, this would be for the upper unit. Right around here, we create some sort of fencing here. To create some amenity space here. The lower unit would continue to use, because we have the steps that come down, would continue to use this space over here. And in the new garden suite, the upper unit would have amenity space around the corner, and the side door, which eventually, if we're allowed to in the future, add the fourth unit, we would have amenity space over there. So each area, each unit will have its own amenity space overall.
I just wanted to add something to that as well, because it is really important to go ahead and plan ahead if you think that you might be doing a future garden suite like this, where you are going to have to plan maybe for the 3 units, because a lot of the work that has to happen in that basement, you don't want to just be finishing the basement, going back later and maybe tearing some things apart or disrupting some tenants. So if you start planning ahead and you know that's going to be the plan later on, at least you know that you got everything taken care of there. So it is good to think ahead if you think that's going to be part of the plan.
When we did start the project, we did have a tenant there. So working with that tenant was very important. You know, ensuring they understood the scope and how we minimize disruption.
Yeah.
It's an important part of managing a project successfully. Otherwise, you know, you could create turnover if you didn't want or
absolutely.
so forth. But
you know what? It makes me think too about, you know, just the fact of going through a renovation like this, a construction like this, and having tenants and making sure that, you know, if you are going to be putting tenants in, that they're aware of maybe your future plans, maybe putting something in your lease agreement, making sure maybe there's some sort of compensation. Because, you know, let's be honest, obviously things get pretty disrupted and can get a little bit messy at times. So you want to make sure you're really working well with your tenants and having things lined up so that there's, you know, the best outcome you can have with your tenants in a good relationship.
I did add a clause in the lease that says this area does not form part of the rented premises, so that in the future, you know, there could be additional development. So that was covered in the lease as well, actually, before I signed up the new tenants.
So when we were originally looking, and not even just for this house, but for a house in general, if you're out and you're looking for a property and you're thinking, you know, what is my future potential growth that we can do, this is the kind of property we're really looking for. So it's a great corner lot. We actually had parking right where we're standing. We had parking up on the other side, you can see there. So it's nice that you already have the 2 spots coming in. We knew that it was a large corner lot this side. You know, is there possibility for a severance or not? These are things that we're definitely going to be looking into. And if not, then can we go ahead and do the garden suite? Do we meet the requirements that are needed as far as the distance from the house to the unit, the setbacks that we need from the property lines and such? And then this particular house, when we bought it, actually had an existing garage. So a lot of times we'll look for a house that has an existing garage and we'll want to convert that into a garden suite. There is some savings, of course, but I'll let Kaush talk to you about that. But really the best plan in this scenario was to tear that down and then build this this nice, beautiful, big garden suite with a basement. So there was a lot of future plans there, but there was different ways to look at it besides, you know, do we use the garage? Do we tear it down? Do we build the garden suite? Do we sever the lot? Can we do all of this? So those are all the things we were looking into, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so where we're standing right now is where the garage used to be. And then obviously with that extra space there, it was the best use was to create the garden suite. But the good thing about this lot is it already had a curb cut with an asphalt driveway that was old. So we're going to replace it, and we moved it out. We kind of removed it. But you know, this garden suite as well, we can create 1, 2, and maybe even 3 parking spots if we wanted to. So you know, that was one of the other benefits. You know, the existing house already also has 4 parking spots available, 1 and 1, 2 in tandem. So, you know, parking was a key consideration as well in terms of purchasing this, you know, and planning for the future. And we figured, like as I mentioned earlier, like whether or not we could do this house supported the property, right? So this is all bonus.
Yeah.
So.
And I'd say too, like with every project, there can come some either road bumps, complications, you know, that varies and so on. No different here. They ended up, once they started surveying the property, realized that the property lines that was owed belonged to the city. Certain spots, they had to do some different setbacks, and you wanted to position the garden suite a little different than we originally thought, right? So you had a few delays there, some back and forth with the city, I believe.
Yeah, we did have to apply for a variance, to kind of get some acceptance on some of the setbacks, All right, so we're inside the garden suite right now on the main floor. As you can see, we have 10-foot ceilings. We have huge windows for lots of sunlight. It is a smaller space, so by doing that, we create more of a big feel, right? In terms of layout, that area, as you walk in the door over here, the kitchen will be here, which will be a focal point. It's gonna have a very modern look. We'll have the washer and dryer in the kitchen as we did in the previous unit. Moving over here, we'll probably hang the TV over here. Moving over here, we have the washroom. and then 2 bedrooms, and then open space as here. So we'll probably have a couch here, TV, kitchen, washroom, 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, and like Kaush was saying here, the ceiling height is amazing. So we got 10-foot ceiling. It feels even higher to me, but probably because I'm so short. But this is really going to fetch you some really good rents too. I just really wanted to point that out. Rents that we're looking at here, maybe in around that $2,500. Depends how the basement's going to proceed later, as far as, is it going to be rented with this unit or not? Obviously, that can change the rents. If not, just this unit itself. Maybe on the low end about $2,400, and that we're estimating maybe about $2,500. Because you got to remember, it's separate from the house. You are living still on a main floor unit. You still have your parking. You're still going to have your backyard space. The space in here is going to be lovely, especially with the ceiling heights, all the natural light. So I think you're going to get really good rent here too.
Right. All right. So we're downstairs. This is the lower area unit of the garden suite. So currently, with Hamilton bylaws, you're not allowed to actually create another unit. However, we will create more of an additional living space to get more rents upstairs and make it part of the main unit for now. And in the future, with Kitchener, London, other places moving towards 2 units, we will likely look at converting this to a nice 2-unit, additional 2-bedroom unit, potentially, maybe 1 bedroom. We'll see how the layout looks after,
Yeah, but if you take a look around, you can see the poured concrete, amazing. They also did some waterproofing, which is great. And then even the ceiling height here. So when I don't have a measuring tape, this is my 6'5" with my hand up. So you got some really good height down here as well. So, so even if the day comes and this becomes its own unit, you're gonna have some nice light and some nice height as well, which is very key.
Yeah, if you pan around, you can see the huge window in the front, which doesn't make it feel like a basement, which is key. So 1/3 of this is above grade and the 2/3 are below grade of this unit. So
just one more thing that we wanted to add is what the rents could possibly be if we do a 1-bedroom unit in the basement. So it'd be 1 bedroom, spacious. You're probably looking at about $1,600 to $1,700 in rent for that 1 unit as well. So definitely could fetch some good rents through the house.
Right. Yeah. And hopefully with both, looking at something close to $4,000.
So when we were looking at this property again, we had mentioned, what's all the potential that we could do, and one of them being severing this lot. But the reason you didn't go ahead and sever the lot was because of the fees, right?
Yeah. So I guess one thing, just to kind of wrap things up, I think one of the biggest benefits to doing a garden suite was, we didn't have to pay $50,000 in development charges. We're using existing services from the main house mainly. Like for example, in my previous project, if we wanted to do a curb cut and connect to the city sewer, that would be $10,000, right? Save $50,000 development charges. It just makes it, like with the tight market, it makes it a little more cost effective and a little more, desirable to do, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and then also, with Hamilton right now, to add that 4th unit on the property, you would have to pay some development charges. So if somebody's wondering why aren't we doing the 4th unit right now, that's part of the reason why. Also, the basement right now, I don't think we're going to be able to do those at this time. So that's why it's really just like a storage space at this time. But that's why we're planning for future growth, because we know that the city's heading that way. We want to be plan ahead. We want to be prepared. But that's the reason why we're not converting that right now, if somebody's wondering why.
At a minimum, we will actually, instead of storage, we'll probably make it living space, but not necessarily a separate unit. As you may have noticed, there's a staircase that goes downstairs. So another bedroom, this will become, instead of a 2-bedroom, 600 square foot, it would become a 3-bedroom, 1,200 square foot living space, right? With 2 levels. Yeah, but just to wrap it up, if, I was a new investor once, if anyone has questions, please, you can feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram. It's Kaush Nanubhai, Kaush, Nanubhai.
You can now go ahead and book a free one-on-one strategy call with us at Rock Star. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We are here for you.